And in this case, it would have been about $2 million for someone who was seriously injured in an accident that was not his fault on his motorcycle 12 hours after the rules changed. So instead of, imagine you're a young person, you're 35 years of age, the rest of your life, you've got 2 twins, you've got a wife that you have to take care of, and now you perhaps might not be able to work in the future, and they're going to say to you, $86,000. $86,000 is going to do nothing. But Courtney, I want to ask you, and Courtney again is Adam's wife. Courtney, I want to ask you, do you ever remember receiving notice in the mail that your insurance would be changing and you could possibly pay more to receive the same insurance if you wanted to?
I did receive a notice, but on the notice it clearly states that none of these changes would happen before your policy renewed. And it did not talk about the changes to the definition of catastrophic. So we really had no way to know that this was going to happen.
So is there, maybe I'll ask your lawyer in a couple of seconds, but is there an option to pay more and get the old definition of catastrophic?
No, I don't think so.
There is not?
No, I don't think so. The criteria to get deemed catastrophic has changed.
So let's explain catastrophic to the audience. It's the designation that you have to reach. The bar is much higher and different for you to be eligible for a payment like the $2 million that you would have under your old plan.
Right.
Okay, so how much longer is Adam going to be needing this rehab that he has?
In my opinion, it's years. I mean, it'll be 5 months out from the accident date, so on November 1st we're talking 5 months, and already he has another surgery booked on October 21st. And I mean, these are major surgeries. There's another surgery probably on his leg in the new year. I mean, now you're approaching 6, 7, 8 months out from the date of the accident. You're still talking about surgeries that you need to recover from. I mean, we're talking years.
Courtney, good luck to you. Hopefully things will change. Hopefully there are some ears open at Queen's Park, although I think you got to make a lot more noise than perhaps we've done this afternoon for saner heads to prevail. That even if you want to say was well intended, this would be an unintended consequence of something that was just that. Mike Smitiuch joins us right now, the lawyer for the Bari family. And Mike, thank you very much for your time.
Jim, thank you for having me.
How has the definition of catastrophic changed?
It has become much more restrictive as of June 1st. In the past, I'll give you a prime example. Adam Bari had a score at what's called a Glasgow Coma Scale score. So that's something that it's a measure of consciousness that's taken by a paramedic or at the hospital. Adam scored a 3, so that's as low as you could score. In the past, before June 1st, if you scored a 9 or less, you were automatically catastrophic. That criteria has been removed. So where Adam would have automatically qualified and would have got the help he needs right away, that's gone. Now you're looking at someone who is a quadriplegic, someone who has lost a limb. Those are the people that will automatically qualify. Someone with a brain impairment, it's a lot more complicated and likely will take a lot more time before they're possibly deemed catastrophic.
Okay, and this isn't something that's affected by the insurance rates changing or the Liberal government doing a favor for the insurance companies because they're claiming that there was just too much fraud and they have to pay out in too many of these cases?
Well, it clearly stems from the Liberal government's promise to cut premiums by 15% when they were a minority government. And the sad thing and ironic thing of all this is that in the last quarter, the Financial Services Commission of Ontario reported that premiums actually went up, not down. So this is intended to save money for insurance companies and therefore pass on those savings to the motorists so the premiums are lower, but that's not even happening.
Yeah, and this is not one of those things that, because I know for a lot of people, the average person would have had perhaps their coverage for benefits go down and they're essentially they're paying the same amount of money, but they had the opportunity to pay more to get the old coverage. Would that have applied in this case?
You cannot pay for a different catastrophic definition. That's absolutely the case. So it's the same for everybody. You can pay for optional benefits to enhance your medical and rehab benefits. But the sad thing of this is the government What they've done effectively for the Barrys, here's an example, they changed the rules of the game after the game started. What they did, the Barrys signed up for certain coverage. They had the accident on June 1st, but their policy wasn't set to renew until July.
Yep.
So they have changed the rules of the game for the worse for the Barrys, and I'm sure there are many others out there.
So for insurance, for your health folks, the government allows you to do that, but you couldn't do that to change the rules of your contract with your cell phone provider in the middle of the game. Nobody would allow them to do that, but the government essentially signed off on this change mid-policy.
That's exactly correct.
And so is this just going to be a footnote into this story of how we have less benefits now and paying the same amount? I mean, it really is obscene that the government folks, they said that they were going to lower your rate, and they've been maybe taken for a ride by the insurance industry that now doesn't have to pay out and is still essentially making the same amount of money as they used to, if not more. So what happens here? Is this going to be, there going to be enough noise here so we can change that definition of a catastrophic injury?
Well, I certainly hope so, because the main point out of this as well is it doesn't matter if you're deemed catastrophic. It certainly matters to the Barrys because they'll have more benefits available, but you still have to prove entitlement. You still have to prove that you need the medical and rehab benefits. So if they're concerned about fraud, the person still needs to prove that they need the therapy. So it's not a windfall. You don't automatically get $2 million just because you're catastrophic.
Yep.
It should never have happened this way.
All right. Good stuff. Thank you very much for your time, Mike. I appreciate it. And to Courtney Bari, who is Adam's wife, we thank her as well. Mike Smitiuch is the lawyer for the Bari family in a case that, again, I think you come up with these laws or these new policies and you think unintended consequences. Well, this one should have been one that they should have been able to see a mile away.